Freezing rain for you, also the lower Hudson Valley. So trying to come into the city is going to be very dangerous tomorrow morning. Make sure you check the temperature. Then we'll see it change back over to snow once the cold air rushes in. Temperature should drop through the day in New York City. Alex?
Well, we're going to take you live to Portland, Maine. That's there on your left. Then Hartford, Connecticut on your right. You've got winter storm warnings in effect for both cities with up to a foot of snow expected to fall. Come tomorrow morning, the commute, it is going to be rough with the worst of Linus hitting at that time. Now, just as those living in New Hampshire are digging out from the first blizzard of the year, another round of snow has some wishing it would end. Some loving it and some, well, taking it all in stride. Here's more from our partners at NECN.
In New Hampshire, it's tough to find anyone who's surprised at yet another round of snow.
A lot of shoveling and all that to do, but it's all right.
I love the snow. I live for this.
But not everyone feels that way. Are you getting sick of it?
Yes, I am. Really.
And it's only January.
No.
Manchester plows back at it, clearing the sidewalks and streets in time for school and work.
I don't mind the snow. I like to go out and play in it, snowmobiling and skiing, and so you need snow.
So bring it on, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He and his teammate in the plow truck work for a construction company on the clock since Tuesday.
I work like 34 straight hours and then another 20.
We caught up with Michael Finicario, making his way to the bus station before 6 o'clock this morning.
It's cold, it's snowy, it shouldn't affect your life.
He's on his way to visit his girlfriend at Salisbury Beach.
It's great to watch, and I'll be at the ocean and checking it out and watching the raging waves.
And if you don't like the snow, well, here's some advice from the Granite State.
Get out and enjoy it. You might like it more.
Deep breath, take it slow, you'll be okay.
And as you know, Hartford City Schools, they're closed for tomorrow. And we work up the road a bit to Boston. Some of the impacts from Linus. Schools there. Boston Public Schools closed as well. So here we are looking in right now on Boston. You'd say, well, it's pretty quiet. 21 degrees, just some cloudy skies. Winds gusting around 17 miles per hour, but not too bad. But that's going to change pretty quickly as the system moves its way on in. Now, here's the radar. There's the quiet weather there in eastern Massachusetts, but a few snowflakes trying to show up here, at least on the radar here, back towards the west. The bulk of the action here you can see across southwestern parts of New York State into Pennsylvania. This slug of moisture will be headed in your direction there in Boston, so be prepared for that. In fact, let's time it out here as we head through the overnight hours. The snow begins to move its way on in by tomorrow morning, and that's one of the reasons why we'll be dealing with no school there. The snow coming down and could be heavy at times. Then could be a brief change over to a mix before we come back to snow later in the day. Well, our live coverage of Winter Storm Linus, cross-country menace, that continues here all night. So don't go anywhere. We are back after your local on the 8s.
Before Mars, before the moon, we did the impossible again and again. Live the future of space travel at Exploration Space, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
If a denture were to be put under a microscope, we can see all the bacteria that still exists. Polident's unique MicroClean formula works in just 3 minutes, killing 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria for a cleaner, fresher, brighter denture every day.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, Patrick, let's go base, shark, blitz.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Abort, he's keeping it.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service Confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. Now you can get the works. A multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more. $29.95 or less.
I was a single mom looking for a man, not only for myself, but for my son. When I went on eHarmony, I had to fill out a lot of questions about myself, so they really got to know who I was and what I was looking for.
eHarmony I think, is the only dating website that could bring something to me, the exact kind of person I was looking for. Other sites seemed really shallow. There's no perfect match beyond Angela. She's the best person for me.
Maybe it's your turn. Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
My job is so hard on my hands.
The cracks were the worst part.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
There was a difference within just minutes of it absorbing into my skin.
Only O'Keefe's has given me the relief that I need.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
Before ISS, before Hubble, we built the most extraordinary machine. Stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantore, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Monday night, partly cloudy skies. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stay with the Weather Channel for special weather coverage of Winter Storm Linus.
We'll tell you what to expect minute by minute.
Only on the Weather Channel.
Well, nearly 100 million people are being impacted by Winter Storm Linus tonight. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Kim Cunningham.
And I'm Alex Wallace. Now, we are here all evening tracking this sprawling storm. Chicago still getting hit. In fact, on top of the screen, check out a live look across the city right now. Chicago, you remain under a blizzard warning. That's until midnight with more snow expected. Let's get the very latest from storm specialist Carl Parker.
All right, guys, so we are looking at the radar picture right now, and we're seeing a lot of moderate snow across the Midwest. It's been very windy there, too. We've had blizzard and near blizzard conditions. And let's begin with the last 3 hours of the radar picture. Notice that snow sprawling all across the lakes and then right into the Northeast. So our snowstorm is now underway in Pennsylvania, in New York State, and will continue right through the day tomorrow in those states. And here's a look at the radar picture a little bit closer now into Chicago. And we're getting moderate snow right now at O'Hare, also moderate snow at several locations in Michigan, including Saginaw, Detroit, and Lansing and Flint, and also Jackson County Airport, all reporting moderate snow, healthy band right there across the south central part of the state. And again, it's fairly windy, so obviously difficult travel out there. It's mostly been light snow in northern Ohio so far. We're thinking another 5 inches on the way for you, especially north and east of the city. And this is mostly light snow that has now come into Pennsylvania and coming across New York State. So here's a look at where we go from here. This is the model forecast showing you the simulated radar, and we're going to focus in on the Midwest first of all. Watch that snow wind down, still going on there, 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern time around eastern Michigan, northeast Ohio, and then really winding down by the middle of the morning tomorrow. So additionally, a pretty sizable area of 3 to 5 inches of snow, 1 to 3 inches of snow with some pockets of 3 to 5. So the larger area is 1 to 3. and there you've got 3 to 5 right there in the eastern part of Michigan in particular. Now, looking at the Northeast, tomorrow morning will be very messy. There's a look at the snow coming down across New England. Notice the warm front here, so we've got rain moving up into New Jersey as well as into Long Island and southern New England. But where we see the warm air overriding that cold right at the lowest levels of the atmosphere, that is where we are likely to see a little bit of sleet and freezing rain. So very difficult travel. Southeast New York, the tri-state area, talking about Poughkeepsie and Newburgh, getting over into Hartford, Danbury, Connecticut, and all those areas we could be in for a messy mix of snow and sleet and freezing rain tomorrow morning. Very difficult travel. It's going to stay mostly snow across a lot of New England. Not so, though, in the South Shore. Notice the rain coming up right into the Boston metro, possibly, certainly so on the South Shore. So the heaviest of snow just off to the north and to the west in the very same areas that really got clobbered by Winter Storm Juno. That's where we're thinking well over a foot of snow is possible, and that snow then wrapping around the backside as colder air comes in. And that's going into tomorrow evening. So let's talk about the total amount of snow here. Very large area of 8 to 12 inches across a lot of New York State, much of New England. Then within that, you've got a 12 to 18 there again in a lot of the very same areas that just got hit hard. And 18 to 24 right around Worcester, Alex. So you're talking about the very spots that got 2 to 3 feet of snow with Juno. The onslaught continues there in New England. Back to you.
Yeah, no rest for the snow weary, that's for sure. Well, let's get you live now to New York City. Impacts from Winter Storm Linus. We're going to be soon feeling that, and as much as 5 inches could fall in the Big Apple. The worst of Linus arriving as we headed into just a matter of hours with winter storm warnings in effect for New York City until tomorrow evening. Now, that being said, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is urging drivers to stay off the roads tomorrow morning, as well as stay out of city parks because of falling tree limbs. Garbage pickup has also been canceled across the city, and the mayor says parents should plan on schools being open tomorrow, but should check in the morning for those updates. Ahead, we'll be looking at some of Linus's impacts on Boston. But you know, the freezing rain, we've got that potentially inching towards the New York City area tomorrow as those temperatures drop. We'll also have to watch out for some icy spots on those roads. Let's talk about New York City, because once again, we've been sort of on that line, very similar to Juno, where we were like, are we going to get the big snows? Are we not? Well, here's the setup for us. There are winter storm warnings, the darker shade of the blue, New York City included, spreading up to Albany, the Boston area as well. Now, we've got a couple of scenarios. Here's our storm system working its way up through the upper Ohio Valley, tracking east. Now, with this track, it'll be moving a little bit farther south of the New York City area, and that would keep most of the cold air in the New York City region, and that means more snow, higher totals. Second scenario, and this one's looking like the more of the possibilities, the better chance of it happening, tracking a little bit farther north. So that would bring in some warmer air, and we see some changing over, more of a wintry mix, and that would cut down on our snow totals. And that's what we're thinking is going to happen in New York City. But still, we've got to be careful, because freezing rain and potential freezing back when cold air comes in is a story. Kim?
Absolutely, and could make travel really, really bad. All right, with all the snow in cities like Chicago and Cleveland farther south, we have seen it all. Meteorologist Mark Elliott explains the difference between snow, sleet, and freezing rain.
In the winter, we talk about several types of precipitation. There's snow, but then there's also sleet and freezing rain. But here's the key. They actually start off as snow as well, and it all happens up there. See, it all starts as snow up here at the top, but the atmosphere has layers. So as our snowflake starts to fall, it could go into an area of warmer temperatures, slightly above freezing. So our snowflake starts to melt from the outside in. You now have a water drop that has a little bit of an ice core in the center, but then it exits our warm area and goes back into the cold. That means our water starts to freeze again, but it doesn't reform a snowflake, it just freezes like it is. A solid raindrop, if you will, comes all the way down to the ground and can bounce. We call that sleet. Freezing rain works a little bit differently. It does begin as a snowflake and it starts to fall through the atmosphere. However, it enters a warm area that is much deeper, so that snowflake melts all the way down. It's now just a regular old raindrop, and it continues all the way down to the surface of the ground. But here at the surface, it's actually below freezing still. So that liquid water hits the ground and freezes right on contact. It turns out that freezing rain is one of the most dangerous types of precipitation, but no winter precip is fun, so be careful out there.
All right, good stuff, Mark. Thanks so much. Let's talk about the Arctic air that's going to return once Linus moves out, and it's going to be with us the rest of the week in some cases. So anything that falls, any kind of snow that we're going to get, Mother Nature is not going to help us melt this. Now, 21 right now in Boston, 34 in New York, 36 in Philadelphia, so temperatures above freezing. Now, sitting at 34 right now in New York, you may be flirting with freezing tomorrow morning. So definitely when you get up, you want to check the temperature in your area. Weather.com or your weather app will tell you what the temperature is in your area. You can see whether or not the road is going to be icy. If the temperature is at 32 or lower, it's going to be icy for you. So we got the low to move by, so Linus moves by. Now we get the Arctic air to sweep in behind it, and any kind of moisture that's still on the ground, any rain that fell. For some of you, we're going to see really cold air coming in behind it, and we could see what we call flash freezing happen. So the precipitation ends, but anything on the ground that's wet, you get temperatures dropping really quickly, and it flash freezes, and that's when we have some icy conditions. So that's why, even though you may be getting rain, like in Philadelphia, we could see some icy conditions setting up as temperatures begin to drop. Check it out Tuesday. Here in Philadelphia, we will be in the probably upper 20s to low 30s. New York, 25. Binghamton, 19 degrees. You can see we're even colder as we get farther north and west. Alex?
All right, well, getting video to us is going to be pretty easy. So when you see Winter Storm Linus, just grab your camera and text the word Linus to 99000. You'll get all the instructions you need from there. And hold that phone horizontally. It's better that way.
Sunday dinners at my house.
You're waiting for my lasagna, aren't you?
It's a full day for me, and I love it. But when I started having back pain, my sister had to come help. I don't like asking for help. I took Tylenol, but I had to take 6 pills to get through the day. So my daughter brought over some Aleve. It's just 2 pills all day. And now,
to family,
I'm back.
Aleve, 2 pills, all day strong, all day long. And now, introducing Aleve PM for a better AM.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Monday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Don't miss the Princess Cruises 50th anniversary sale. Our biggest sale ever. Save up to $500 per person. Everywhere we sail, all around the world. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this?
Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check. Who's that?
So weird, right? My agent Tom said.
Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
But I'm a woman. Maybe it's a misprint. Does it look like a misprint?
Okay, let's try. Silence. Ask an Allstate agent about the Safe Driving Bonus Check. Are you in good hands?
Sir, we're gonna need you on the runway later.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back. Get Theraflu. It has the power of 3 medicines to take on your worst pain and fever, cough, and nasal congestion. Theraflu breaks you free from your toughest cold and flu symptoms, so you never miss a day. Theraflu. Serious power.
So what about that stock? Sure thing, right?
Actually knowing the kind of risk that you're comfortable with.
I'd steer clear.
Really? Really.
Straight talk.
Now, Based on your strategy, I do have some other thoughts.
Multiplied by 13,000 financial advisors. It's a big deal. And it's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
Imagine if razors could move up and down and all around, hugging tight, swirling left and turning right. Behold, new Venus Swirl, the only razor with 5 contour blades and a flexi ball to contour to your tricky places, bones, bends, and all. Smooth and steady going this way and that, bumps and grooves, curvy and flat. For skin as flawless can be, new Venus Swirl. Try it and see.
I'm outside. Where are you?
I'm right here. I'm in the Buick.
I don't see a Buick. Oh, got it.
The expectation-shattering Buick Encore.
Wow.
Now experience Buick's newest crossover and pay no interest for 5 years. Plus, get $1,500 purchase cash on the 2014 Buick Encore.
Welcome back to special coverage of Winter Storm Linus. With a travel mess taking aim on New York City tonight and into your morning commute. Here's a live look at the city right now. Times Square, Midtown Manhattan, Columbus Circle. Now tonight you're going to get up to 5 inches of snow before it turns to rain. All right, let's go in depth right now what New Yorkers can expect, and we're going to see that transition. I mean, we're going to get 5 inches of snow, but it's very possible when you wake up in the morning, those 5 inches of snow won't even be there, so you won't even realize it happened. So let's talk about why this is going to happen. We're showing you right now as we have the warmer air that'll be coming northward with time, and as it does, it's going to override that cold air at the surface, and we're going to see possibly, especially north of New York City, on over towards the northern burbs of New Jersey, maybe a freezing rain sleet event, but New York City thinking you're going to go from snow, maybe heavy at times, 1 to 4 a.m., to rain, because all the warm air is going to push in through the atmosphere. It's going to be all temperatures above freezing, at least through the lower part of the atmosphere. So looking at that, and then we're going to see eventually all the cold air to sweep through, and once that does, we may see it change back over to snow as temperatures will continue to drop across the area. So very interesting how this all plays out. That 850 temperature, very important when you get up about 5,000 feet or so to dictate what kind of precipitation type we are looking at. Alex?
All right, thanks so much, Kim. Well, I tell some incredible images of Winter Storm Linus. They've been pouring in all day from, well, you, the viewer. Like these pictures coming in from Iowa. Just brutal. The blizzard conditions cranked up across eastern Iowa earlier today with winds howling upwards of 40 miles an hour. Over a foot of snow fell here in Hazleton earlier today. And the snowfall is just about to work its way and end in Punxsutawney tonight with a little mix of rain coming in before midnight. Now you may see another quick 1 to 3 inches of snow before it is all said and done. And make sure you catch Jen Carfagno. She's going to be live in Punxsutawney tomorrow at 4 a.m. All right, so let's talk about the snowfall totals so far out there. And they've certainly ramped up out there around the Chicagoland area so far. 14.2 inches of snow. Biggest we've seen so far this season. In fact, we are just about getting into cracking the top 10 of snowfalls of all time in recorded history. So this is a big one for you around Chicago. We still have a good 1 to 3 inches to come, which will make our storm total a foot to a foot and a half. Wow. Detroit there for you, 4.3 inches so far. Still a couple more to go. We've got the storm totals that'll be approaching a foot. And then Cleveland, 2.1 inches. Now that total was actually from earlier today, so that's probably a little higher than that. Could be looking at another 3 to 5 with 8 to 12 inches of snow possibly be impacting you there. Then, of course, what we've got to come into the north northeast, Providence, New York, Boston, Punxsutawney, all these areas here, we've got zeros showing up. But again, the snow is yet to come. We're going to see this moving in through the overnight hours and into tomorrow. One of the bigger spots would be Boston. 8 inches to 12 inches is what we're calling for there for you in and around Beantown. Again, that's on top of what you had to deal with from Winter Storm Juno. Over 20 inches of the snow there for you in Boston. So I know you're tired, you're sick of it. Unfortunately, we've got more to deal with there. New York City looks like we're going to deal with about 3 to 5 inches of snow before we change over to a bit of rain. But we'll have to watch out in New York City because some very cold air comes in behind the system. Anything that falls is going to freeze and be a very treacherous situation for travels. Kim?
Well, it could be very dangerous across a lot of the Northeast with blowing snow and gusty winds. Like this stretch of Interstate 80 east of Lincoln, Nebraska. A multi-vehicle wreck shut down the westbound lanes for 4 miles. And it was a deadly accident, unfortunately. And this picture shows us how awful this was. Another area hit hard here in Illinois. A tanker truck carrying hazardous chemicals flipped over the northbound lanes of Interstate 57, leading to evacuations. Fire department officials say 60 people had to leave their homes due to the spill. And emergency responders had to actually remove the chemicals, so they shut down the highway in both directions to deal with the spill. So you can imagine all these people stuck on the interstate because it was shut down. That's why it's so dangerous to be on the roadways in a situation like this. So let's talk about some of the travel impacts we're going to see here around New York City, where we're going to see, again, snow overnight should be heavy. So you're going home late tonight, maybe from a Broadway show, you'll be dealing with some of that heavier snow. Then it changes over to rain for the morning commute. Coming in, though, from White Plains, Lower Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, it could be very icy there, though. So please check the temperature and check in here before you hit the roads. We'll be right back.
The adventures you've been imagining. The heroes you've been admiring. The worlds you've been dreaming of. The thrills you've been craving. The moments you've been missing. The vacation you've been looking for is here. Come and take it. Universal Orlando Resort. Experience it all with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Vacation Package. Visit universalorlando.com.
Weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked? Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Monday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service Confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. Now you can get the works. A multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more. $29.95 or less.
Just tell us your budget, and the Name Your Price tool helps you find a whole range of coverages. No one else gives you options like that.
No one at all. No one at all. No one. Wake up.
You okay, buddy? I just had a dream that Progressive had this thing called...
Your budget, and the Name Your Price tool helps you find a whole...
It isn't a dream, is it?
Nope. Sorry.
With so many great shows on these days, you need a DVR that can catch them all. How many shows can you DVR at one time?
I can only DVR one at a time.
It'll act like it's recording, but one of us got kicked out.
There isn't any fighting, but there is conflict. With Xfinity, you can record 4 shows at once and watch a 5th live.
That's really cool.
There's no conflict, so you're never going to miss a show.
Say so long to recording conflicts. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play from Comcast and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com today.
At The Watershed, we believe in recovery. We believe that every alcoholic and addict deserves the opportunity to be healed. Our team of addiction professionals will address the underlying causes of your addiction while treating you with dignity and respect. We've helped thousands of patients recover from this seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Addicts can recover. Addicts do recover. No matter how hopeless the situation seems, the time to get help is now. Call The Watershed today.
Everything must go.
And shipping is always free.
Visit DealDash.com and start bidding today. Stay with the Weather Channel for special weather coverage of Winter Storm Linus.
We'll tell you what to expect minute by minute.
Only on the Weather Channel.
I'll tell you, late as this storm heads towards New England, getting around could be a real issue in Henniker, New Hampshire. Late last week, fire. That destroyed all but 3 snowplows. Bad news indeed, because the forecast calls for possibly another foot of snow in the town Monday. State and neighboring communities, well, they've offered to lend the town snow gear to get to and tackle that new snow, all thanks to Linus. Well, let's get you now live out to Boston Harbor. And yeah, we're quiet now, but that's going to change as winter storm warnings are in effect for Beantown. That's into tomorrow, with up to a foot of snow expected to fall just as the city digs out from Juneau. And then just to the northwest of Boston, well, some spots looking at up to 2 feet of snow. Quite a mess there. Now, that said, Linus will bring a fury to Boston. The city's mayor declaring a state of emergency that takes effect at 6 tomorrow morning. Boston area schools will also be closed. More than 600 snow and salt trucks are armed and ready to hit the streets. And any cars parked on major roads after 8 tomorrow morning, well, they're going to be towed. Coming up a bit later, the impacts affecting New York City.
And let's take you live now to Chicago, where the snow is still coming down. Right now, the visibility is about a half mile with snow. We've got blowing snow. We've got fog, temperature of 20 degrees, winds out of the northeast, gusting over 30 miles per hour. We're going to have probably several more inches before this is all done here in Chicago. Even blizzard conditions reported several hours here this evening. For more on Winter Storm Linus, let's bring in our storm specialist, Carl Parker. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Kim. This is something you probably remember. Talking about Linus reminds me of the Peanuts characters that had that little dark squiggly mark over their head, because I'm sure there are a lot of people in New England who feel that way right now, with another storm coming after getting a huge storm not long ago, and then more on top of that. And here we're looking at as much as a foot or more in the very areas where we got 2 to 3 feet of snow out of Winter Storm Juno. Pretty amazing stuff. And let's begin with where the snow has come down. This has been a very healthy snowstorm across a lot of the Midwest. We've had many areas with more than a foot of snow, including there in Chicagoland, generally 12 to 18 inches there. Same story in southwestern lower Michigan, around Benton Harbor and points farther east, and also right around Des Moines. And the snow is still falling there in Chicago and in southwestern Michigan. We've got right now moderate snow being reported at O'Hare. It's mostly light snow around the region. A lot of light snow also into southwestern lower Michigan, but we get into moderate in Lansing and Flint, as well as Detroit, Jackson County Airport, all those areas reporting moderate snow right now. And there's been a fair amount of wind as well, so we've had even nearer blizzard conditions there across a lot of Michigan. Snow coming down in the Cleveland metro. It is light snow for you, and the snow now making its way into the lower Susquehanna Valley, into the Appalachians, and over into southern parts of New York. So your storm is underway in the northeast and will continue right through tomorrow afternoon, especially in New England. In fact, not really winding down until tomorrow night in New England. So this is the high resolution model doing, I think, a very good job of depicting how this is going to play out. Notice the timing right up here. We'll take this into the early morning hours. Snow most likely still coming down there in Detroit, northern Ohio, southern parts of Ontario, including Toronto, and then finally beginning to wind down by mid-morning there in the Midwest. But going strong in the Northeast, and we're going to get into that in a moment. Additionally, we're talking about a pretty sizable area of 1 to 3 inches of snow, then some pockets of 3 to 5 within that. So mostly lighter amounts going forward in these areas of the Midwest where the snow is coming down right now. Now, here across the Northeast, the big difference between this storm and Juno, there are a couple of them actually. One is that the storm is not as strong as Juno. It won't be until it gets to the Canadian Maritimes. The other is that it's moving along pretty quickly, and so it's going to be, for the most part, moving out of the Northeast by late tomorrow, by tomorrow evening. So we've got snow coming down tomorrow morning across New York, across a lot of New England. We're going to watch warmer air moving up right in here, so we'll see a change over to rain there in New York City. And with that warmer air coming in aloft just above the cold air that's still holding on at the surface right in there, that's where we expect to see a mixture of snow and sleet and freezing rain. So it could be very messy in the tri-state area up through the southeast part of New York State as well as across Connecticut. Rain coming up through the South Shore there in the Boston metro right into the middle of the day tomorrow. Snow continues for a lot of northern New England, and the heaviest of snow likely there north and west of Boston, right in the very areas that really got hit hard by Juno. And again, that storm winding down by late tomorrow. So this is what we're thinking right now. Very large area of 8 to 12 inches of snow within that, pockets of 12 to 18 and even as much as 18 to 24 right around Worcester and north and west of Boston. So again, Kim and Alex, the very areas that got walloped by Juno, getting it again with this storm. Back to you.
That's tough.
It is. Oh my goodness. Well, of course, our live coverage of Winter Storm Linus Cross Country Menace that continues all night.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back right after your local on the 8th.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Monday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Ooh, the snow just keeps on pounding, and you can hear the wind howling with winter weather alerts spanning some 1,200 miles from Nebraska to Maine, putting tens of thousands of homes in the dark.
Wild winds and brutal cold are now adding to the danger. Where the worst of Linus is now and who's staring down a treacherous morning commute on this extended edition of Weather Center Live.
To a special edition of Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wallace.
And I'm Kim Cunningham. Good evening, everyone. We're tracking a cross-country menace of a winter storm. It's named Linus.
Yeah, of course, named after Apollo's son from Greek mythology. It's affecting 90+ million people, stretching from Nebraska to the northern tip of Maine. And then right behind Linus, a ridiculously cold air coming in. Many cities will see dangerously cold wind chills, temps dropping by 20 or more degrees.
And let's run down the latest from Winter Storm Linus. Chicago closing its public schools on Monday, as well as many other area school districts. Boston schools also closed tomorrow. 800+ flights canceled in and out of both O'Hare and Midway airports today. Let's find out from Carl the very latest on this winter storm. Carl.
a big difference between this storm and Juno that hit the Northeast so hard not very long ago is that it's not going to be as strong and it's going to be moving more quickly. So that is going to limit the total somewhat. However, there are still areas that could be looking at 1.5 feet of snow in some of the very same spots that just got walloped by Juno and, of course, the storm that followed that coming across the Northeast. So this is going to be a big deal for a lot of people. And here's a look at the low. That's the upper low right there, and plenty of moisture being drawn up and into the system from the Gulf of Mexico and also from the Atlantic, increasingly so from the Atlantic. And the snow now extends across a large part of the country, from the Midwest, Chicago, where we are still now getting some light snow in and around Chicagoland. We've had generally over 1 foot of snow there, so quite a storm. Across Michigan, still getting a lot of reports of moderate snow right now. It is moderate snow in Lansing as well as Flint. In Detroit, we've had moderate snow. Also moderate snow still being reported at Jackson County Airport in the south central part of the state, and it's still very windy. Some drier air starting to come over and into northern Ohio, and then we've got lighter snow across a lot of Pennsylvania, so this is the beginning of the event for the Northeast. So this is what we're thinking in the Midwest. Got a pretty large area of 1 to 3 inches, not a lot of additional accumulation, but still very gusty wind blowing that snow around. And then here is your forecast for the Northeast. Very large area of 8 to 12 inches of snow through a lot of New England and New York State. Within that, 12 to 18 inches, and there may be some pockets of 1.5 feet or more, maybe just north and west of Boston. Again, the very areas that were hit so hard by Juno not very long ago. Now, in the New York City metro, we're going to have snow coming in over the next several hours here, but then rain is going to creep up along with warmer air through central parts of New Jersey, most likely. That should change the precip over to rain there in New York City. But then to the north of that, we're going to watch that warmer air coming in over top of cold air that's very stubborn right at the surface, and that's going to mean sleet and freezing rain and a pretty sizable area potentially of freezing rain there in northern Jersey, Morristown, up through southeast New York, getting over towards Newburgh, maybe Poughkeepsie, and then through a lot of southern Connecticut as well. That, of course, can be very, very difficult to drive on. So the northern part of the tri-state area in particular in for slick roads, we think, tomorrow morning. And then we're going to see in the afternoon the cold air sweeping around the backside of the low. We change back over to snow, and most likely because of all that changing that's going on, that's going to limit the totals there in New York City. So right now what we're thinking is about 4 inches in New York, but heavier amounts well off to the north, maybe 10 inches in Middletown and about 8 inches in Danbury. Now we will see something similar in the Boston metro area in that you've got snow coming in initially. Tomorrow morning, snow to beat the band there across a lot of southern New England, but then that warm air starts to come up. We get some mixing going on across Connecticut. We get rain on the south shore and down into the islands, down across the Cape. We remain as snow right in here. That's where there's that potential for very heavy amounts because it's going to be all snow. And then by late tomorrow, it changes back to snow and the winds pick up as the low gets a lot stronger, starting to pull away. It's going to be all over there across a lot of New England by very late tomorrow. So right now what we've got is about 1 foot there in Boston, maybe a little bit less. Certainly we think it's less on the south side, on the south shore, and right in there is that pocket where we could be talking about very heavy amounts, and that is precisely where we saw a tremendous amount of snow out of Juno. So you're talking about areas that had 2 to 3 feet, getting potentially another 1.5 feet or maybe more than that. And again, Kim, it's going to be not a lot of snow there for the south side, just a little bit on the back side of this area of low pressure. Back to you.
What we don't need for sure. Thanks, Carl. Here's a live look at how thick the snow has been getting. This is southwest of Chicago in suburban Oak Forest. Keith Lotke shared this with us. Thanks so much. You know, Lina's dropping at least 7 inches of snow there, while in other suburbs, getting well over 14 inches as well. Tonight, it's going to get down to 7 degrees with near blizzard conditions. Snow should be tapering off over the next couple of hours. And take a look at this video high above the Chicago River. Whiteout conditions downtown today. Peak wind gusts howling at 40 miles an hour, even blizzard conditions reported several hours, and blizzard warnings in effect until midnight. All Chicago public schools closed tomorrow, as well as dozens other school districts here in Chicagoland. Alex?
All right, Kim, and as you mentioned, those blizzard warnings, these are the areas that are shaded in that a sort of pink color. Those are the spots, including Joliet, even over towards Gary. Again, those are warnings in effect until the midnight hour. You combine the snow that's falling out there and the wind whipping it around, making it just almost impossible to see. Travel certainly not recommended in these areas, and no question about it, the good news there for the kids, at least, school closed. Here's the radar, and again, we've been seeing snow in Chicago. We started at about 8 o'clock yesterday in the evening, and it's been snowing ever since. Still seeing some snow showers, but we're going to start to see it begin to taper off out there for you in and around the city. You can see how it plays out in Chicago as we start to work our way in towards the midnight, 1 o'clock hour, more like lighter snow showers. And then we actually see things much, much drier heading into tomorrow. Full sunshine. It'll be glistening off of all that snow that you've got on the ground. But don't let the sun fool you. It's going to be very cold. Cold air really rushing in behind the system. Look at these numbers. Stuck in the teens. So an incredibly cold scenario setting up for you in Chicago on top of the snow that we've got to deal with. It looks like an additional maybe 1 to 2 more inches in and around Chicago. Again, that's on top of what you've already seen, which is over 14 inches. When it's all said and done here in Chicago, this will be a top 10 snowstorm on record. So this one has certainly meant business for you there in Chi-Town. Kim?
Well, the snowfall may end tomorrow in some areas, but the travel troubles are far from over. We're going to take you through the worst of it coming up next on Weather Center Live. And our live coverage of Winter Storm Linus cross-country menace continues all night. Don't go anywhere. We are back right after your local on the 8th. Congratulations.
And I turn around and there's 3 rattlesnakes.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't worry, Rob. You're covered.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service Confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. Now you can get the works. A multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more. $29.95 or less.
Your Super Bowl party is on NBC. Starting with the Today Show. Then at noon, our team breaks down the big game. Katy Perry prepares for the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show, and the best team brings you Super Bowl 49. Then, don't miss a special Blacklist and Tonight Show after the game, only on NBC.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Monday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stay with the Weather Channel for special weather coverage of Winter Storm Linus.
We'll tell you what to expect minute by minute.
Only on the Weather Channel.
Let's go from our little girl to all grown up. Let's say out with the old and in with the options, like that one, or those, with features like this. Let's get exactly what we imagined for less than we thought, and turn a modest budget into a majorly stylish bath. New bathroom, no problem. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Shop stylish vanities in-store and online.
When heartburn comes creeping up on you, fight back with relief so smooth, it's fast. Tums Smoothie starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Sir, we're gonna need you on the runway later.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back. Get Theraflu. It has the power of 3 medicines to take on your worst pain and fever, cough, and nasal congestion. Theraflu breaks you free from your toughest cold and flu symptoms, so you never miss a day. Theraflu, serious power.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
Welcome back, everyone, to our extended coverage on Winter Storm Linus. Just hearing the Patriots won the Super Bowl. I know a lot of folks probably tuning into the Weather Channel now to find out what kind of weather we're going to be dealing with tonight and tomorrow in the Boston area, where we're looking right now at snow in Cleveland. All this part of Winter Storm Linus, and some heavier snows where you see some of the darker blues. Some areas of Cleveland picking up well over 7 inches of snow with this. Temperatures around freezing, and you can see not too far to the south, we actually have rain. It looks like approaching the Akron area. So 4 inches, Cleveland, additional snow. Maybe a little less than that. Looks like it's starting to taper off a little bit. Akron, maybe an inch, and maybe even mixing with some rainfall in there. As you can see the back edge of this, not far from Cleveland. So maybe an inch or two with this, and a little bit filling in off to the west. So maybe traveling along Interstate 80, the Ohio Turnpike or so, you're going to be dealing with some snow off and on with this. Heavier snows still moving across Michigan, it looks like. Chicago starting to taper off in the western northern burbs. Still looking at half-mile visibility, though. Be careful again around these interstate systems. Hold off traveling if you can. This should be ending soon, but it's still looking at some dangerous conditions even once it moves by. So 10 o'clock tonight, still looking at the snow here at Central Time. And we'll see it tapering off Chicago, done by about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And maybe a little bit of lake effect setting up with those northeasterly winds through Lake Michigan. And then back on the backside of this low, where we've had rain, maybe a few flurries even in Cincinnati and Columbus with cold air rushing in. Then by 11:30, looks like tomorrow morning, we transition here in New York City. We go from snow picking up maybe several inches, 3 to 5 inches of snow, till about 5 o'clock in the morning, and it changes over to rain. Then it may change back to snow before it's all done. And it could get icy, very icy. Once temperatures start to drop behind the storm, we get those northerly winds in there, northwesterly winds. We're going to start to see really cold air coming in, then maybe freeze anything that's out there. So you got to be real careful. Boston probably picking up maybe up to 1 foot to 2 feet of snow, especially northwest of you. And out here on the Cape, we could see a transition of snow to freezing rain, sleet, then back to snow again. When it's all said and done, here are snow totals. Again, New York getting the most snow overnight tonight, and then it should be rain for your commute tomorrow. But still could be tricky. Alex?
Tricky indeed, Kim, and tricky travels out there for us as the plane flies on by. Now, right now, you look across the country, and a lot of green dots. No delays being reported. But that's because there aren't a lot moving out of some of these areas because of a lot of cancellations. So with all that snow still flying around parts of the Great Lakes and headed towards the northeast, we're going to see more issues out there. So you can see nationwide total cancellations as of 10 o'clock Eastern are approaching 3,000. A good chunk of those in and around Chicago. In fact, O'Hare, look at that, approaching 1,400, Midway over 300 there for you. And Cleveland, Detroit, over towards Newark, adding to some of those cancellations. So again, that's just for today. This thing's not done with. We're going to work it through the overnight and into tomorrow. So that's going to mean some problems for parts of the northeast cities. And some of those airports there, already cancellations piling up in some of those areas. We're approaching across the country at least 2,000 cancellations, and again, a majority of those taking place out of O'Hare, LaGuardia, out of Logan as well. So it's going to be a troubled time for travels. Make sure you check with those airlines. Well, of course, our live coverage of Winter Storm Linus, cross-country menace, that continues all night. Don't go anywhere. We are back right after your local on the 8s.
For the ride around Norfolk. And I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
A 3D white smile has the power to captivate. That's why Shakira uses Crest 3D White with White Lock technology, removing up to 90% of surface stains and locking out future stains. So your smile always steals the show. And to get even faster whitening, use this collection for a whiter smile in just 2 days. Crest 3D White. Life opens up with a whiter smile.
There's a myth out there that you can't do it all. That you can't be everything to everyone. Well, consider that myth shattered. This is the full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City, built to help you run the town from every direction.
Hi, you've reached Emma. I'm out of the office right now, but we'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. Your call is important to me.
Join Princess Cruises for exclusive Discovery at Sea experiences. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Why are you all here? To learn, right? So you can get a good job, so you're not working for peanuts. Well, what if I told you that peanuts can work for you? While you guys are busy napping, peanuts are delivering 7 grams of protein and 6 essential nutrients right to your mouth. You ever seen a peanut take a day off? No. Peanuts don't even get casual khaki Fridays because peanuts take their jobs seriously. So unless you want a life of skimming Wi-Fi off the neighbors, you'll harness the hard-working power of the peanut.
Weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency. It was hard.
Hey, girl. Hey, can you help me move? Sure, but I can't use my hands.
I would, but my back is so bad.
Oh.
Well.
Hi, I'm moving. No problem.
The Xfinity Movers Edge program makes it easy to stay connected to your TV, internet, and home phone when you move.
Thank you.
Finally, get some help moving. Get your Xfinity services professionally installed on a date you choose, or ask how you can take your equipment with you. Call 1-855-MOVE-EDGE or go online today.
There is something in the people, something in the sand, there's something in the air. Something in the water, something in the night. It's called All Right, and it's something you can only find here. Jamaica, home of All Right.
Act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Monday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And welcome back, everyone, to our extended coverage on Winter Storm Linus. Here are some of the watches, or I should say warnings now, for the Northeast, where we have just about everybody under a winter storm warning, few exceptions with winter weather advisories, where we're actually going to see maybe a transition from snow to rain. But Boston under that winter storm warning, with the caveat there could be near blizzard conditions with this. So it's going to be bad. It is going to be bad in Boston. 20 degrees right now, 33 in New York, 36 in Philadelphia. New York dropping a degree. That's key. And we'll talk about why in just a minute. 36 in Philadelphia, 39 in D.C. So definitely a rain event in D.C., Philadelphia in the mid-30s. It is going to be a rain event there, maybe starting out with a little bit of snow, but then it's going to transition over to rain. So you can see a lot of this not reaching the ground just yet, but it will be very soon, and we'll see some of the clouds, low clouds now spreading up towards the Boston area as well. So New York showing blue right now, maybe a few flurries out there, but then we're going to see the snow really coming in here later on tonight. So by 11 o'clock, maybe in the next hour or so, we'll start to see snow developing here in New York City. Here in central New Jersey, maybe a rain-snow mix and sleet and freezing rain as well, depending on your temperature. And then by 7 o'clock in the morning in New York City, actually by 5 or 6 in the morning, it should change over to rain. But just north of you, where temperatures are going to be below or freezing and below, we're going to see that sleet and freezing rain. That's going to be a problem here coming in from the lower Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, maybe Morris County, Passaic County, all dealing with this. And maybe traveling Interstate 95 out of New York City heading north is going to be a nightmare commute for folks. So then once we see the rain, eventually the front comes through and we get the cold air to come in behind it, then we're going to see more snow in New York City. So while we pick up 3 to 5 inches of snow overnight, it will be raining in the morning around New York City. But please, 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 if something changes, you got to make sure you know if the roads are going to be icy. Alex?
Indeed. And we're going to take you live now a little bit farther north up to Portland, Maine. That's on your left. Hartford, Connecticut on your right. Winter storm warnings are in effect in both cities with up to a foot of snow expected to fall. Come tomorrow morning, that commute is going to be rough now with the worst of Linus hitting at that time. And just as those living in New Hampshire are digging out from the first blizzard of the year, another round of snow has some wishing it would end. Some loving it and some, well, taking it all in stride. Here's more from our partners at NECN.
In New Hampshire, it's tough to find anyone who's surprised at yet another round of snow.
A lot of shoveling and all that to do, but it's all right.
I love the snow. I live for this.
But not everyone feels that way. Are you getting sick of it?
Yes, I am. Really.
And it's only January.
No.
Manchester plows back at it, clearing the sidewalks and streets in time for school and work.
I don't mind the snow. I like to go out and play in it, snowmobiling and skiing, and so you need snow.
So bring it on, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He and his teammate in the plow truck work for a construction company, on the clock since Tuesday.
I work like 34 straight hours and then another 20.
We caught up with Michael Finicario, making his way to the bus station before 6 o'clock this morning.
It's cold, it's snowy, it shouldn't affect your life.
He's on his way to visit his girlfriend at Salisbury Beach.
It's great to watch, and I'll be at the ocean and checking it out and watching the raging waves.
And if you don't like the snow, well, here's some advice from the Granite State.
Get out and enjoy it. You might like it more.
Deep breath, take it slow. You'll be okay.
You'll be okay. Yeah, that's the word. Well, we're going to work its way into the Boston area as well. Winter storm Linus and impact us. Now, right now, pretty quiet in and around the Boston area. Cloudy skies, cold at 20 degrees. Winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the north. So it's a quiet scenario now, but on the way, the snow will be coming in from the west. You can see still snowing here in the eastern lakes, interior northeast, and that'll be heading your way there in Boston. In fact, let's time it out. Here's the midnight hour. The snow continuing to move its way east and impacting us through the overnight into tomorrow morning. Now, Boston public schools closed. That's good news because there's going to be snow piling up. Then as we head into the afternoon, we could see a brief switch over to a mix before we switch back over to some snow there for you in the city and then come to an end by tomorrow night. How much in Boston? Pretty decent totals. We're talking about a foot there for you in the city. Lighter amounts, though, as you work your way to the southeast there towards the Cape, where we'll be in the single digits. But digging out once again. Our live coverage of Winter Storm Linus Cross Country Minutes continues next.
This is just an interview for the newspaper. Earlier you said that there are some people who know you well. Why do I get the feeling that that's not true?
I had a rough start in life. You should steer clear of me. My tastes are very singular.
Enlighten didn't mean that.
What is it about you that's so different?
I just wonder if your heart might be bigger than you let on.
What are you doing to me? Rated R.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service Confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. Now you can get the works. A multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more. $29.95 or less.
Heartburn.
Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
At the end of the day, my hands are beat up.
Especially during the winter times, hands are splitting, cracking, making it very difficult to do my job.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
Best stuff we've ever used.
It just works.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
Service to aisle 3, please. Service to aisle 3.
Children, I am your father.
We all have a Disney side. And the best place to show it is Disney Parks. So come to the place where the entire family can laugh, let loose, and play together. Disney Parks. Come on, it's time to show your Disney side.
Sometimes at last doesn't happen at first.
Your dad just kissed my mom.
Turning two worlds into one takes love. Helping protect that world takes State Farm.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantore, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Monday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower through the evening. Low 58. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stay with the Weather Channel for special weather coverage of Winter Storm Linus.
We'll tell you what to expect minute by minute.
Only on the Weather Channel.
Nearly 100 million people are being impacted by Winter Storm Linus tonight. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Kim Cunningham.
And I'm Alex Wallace, and we are here all evening tracking this widespread and sprawling system. Chicago, you're still getting hit on the top of the screen. Check out a live look across the city right now. Chicago, you remain under a blizzard warning. That's until midnight with more snow expected. Well, let's get the very latest from storm specialist Carl Parker.
All right, guys, so what we've got is another storm here that's going to impact New England, and this one is going to be pretty different from the big one that occurred from Juno in that it's not going to be as strong of an area of low pressure, and it's also going to be moving right along. Still, we are expecting more than a foot of snow in a lot of the very areas that got 2 to 3 feet of snow, and we're talking about, in particular, northern parts of Massachusetts and up into southeastern New Hampshire. That's where there's going to be a pretty sizable area of more than a foot of snow out of the storm. So we begin with a look at what's happening across the Midwest right now. We are getting light snow and moderate snow through much of Michigan as we speak. The snow's still coming down in Chicago right now, and we're also getting a pretty good bit of wind along with this storm. I want to focus in on the wind right now. The wind's gusting up to 38 miles per hour in Saginaw, gusting to 30 miles per hour in Grand Rapids, and 30 miles per hour in Lansing. So we are seeing near blizzard conditions across a lot of this region with strong wind and no doubt very difficult travel. That snow now beginning to make its way over into the Northeast. It's mostly light snow here, a little bit of that on the northern part of Maryland, right along 83, also creeping over into Philly. We've had a bit of snow there in northern Jersey, just outside of New York in Bridgewater, and the snow also coming down around the Finger Lakes and right up 81. So let's take a look at the forecast, first of all, for the Midwest and show you how it's going to play out tonight. We're not looking for a whole lot of additional accumulation across the Midwest. It will continue to be windy. Tomorrow morning, snow winding down there in Detroit, some lingering snow in Toronto, as well as northeast parts of Ohio. And then we see snow developing in West Virginia tomorrow morning. So additionally, what we're thinking is a pretty sizable area of 1 to 3 inches across a lot of southern Michigan, northern Indiana, and northern parts of Ohio. Now, all the